Hello and welcome to IMS TV. Today we have Ms. Chandrani Banerjee, who is a Delhi-based bilingual journalist with a vast experience in investigative reporting. She has worked with Muscat Daily, Outlook Magazine, NPR Delhi, and now runs her own podcast, Across the Table with Chandrani Banerjee. Hello ma'am, welcome to IMS TV.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show. Thank you.
Starting off, ma'am, we can start off with the questions.
Yeah.
Okay. What inspired you to pursue journalism? Can you tell us about
Well,
that?
yeah, I was initially working as a volunteer for some NGO, and I got the opportunity to go to villages of UP, and I realized that there is lot to do, and I tried to do, but I realized that I cannot change anything without having the proper machinery. So what I can do is there is proper machinery, and government has a setup to do it. If I'll highlight it correctly, government will go and correct it. So how to highlight? Then I started looking at stories and started writing it. And I was always keen to write. I was in class 9 when I wanted to do writing. Then I wanted to do, and I used to follow Siddharth Basu. He used to, the man who conceptualized KBC. I used to follow him very. I have got his poster on my study table.
Yes.
So that was a motivating factor, and I used to think that I'll work like them. One day I'll go to Delhi and I'll do this and I'll do that.
Ma'am, can you brief our audience about investigative journalism?
Investigative journalism has many facades. It's not that you just take a camera, do sting operation or something like that. You go out, you see very many things. Like there was a very different story which I have encountered when I was in Colombia. I've seen a journalist went out of the office and saw very precious pictures, photographs were dumped in the dustbin. So she just captured it and put it on New York Times website that these pictures are so interesting. I wonder who has dumped it in the dustbin. Do you want to know more? And she engaged the audience with it, and the audiences started asking questions and all. She said, and they said, please investigate further. And she went and looked around at who were living nearby who could dump it. And every house she searched with the set of those pictures, and then she figured out that there's a 78-year-old man or 72-year-old man who was living in Patna, died about a year ago, and she was a photographer, and these pictures are taken by her. So then he explained that I can't live without her now. It's loneliness and all this is bothering me, and these pictures remind me of her. That's why. So the story is culminated in a very beautiful way. People have poured in love for that gentleman, and they said that we want to engage to keep him busy and all those things. So that had turned out to be a very different kind of investigative story.
Yes, ma'am.
So investigation can be on anything that could uncover something which is hidden.
Yes, ma'am.
So that could be anything.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, as you said, you attended Columbia Journalism School on scholarship in 2016, I guess. How was that exposure different from India?
Well, my aim was also to know how investigation is being done in US. How do they? Because before that, it was my first visit to US, and I have heard that everything is hunky dory there. There's nothing wrong. So and cases are sorted like this, and everything happens within. They don't take time, no delay in cases. Then I went there and I attended. So my biggest exposure was that there are different kind of cases which take time. And there was a gentleman who was shot down by the police because he jumped the red light. And when the investigation started, nobody did an investigation. A reporter did an investigation. Why? What? The policeman said that he has 25 cases against him. So that's why he was a criminal. We shot him. So then he started investigation. He went to the family. The wife was crying. She was saying no, there was no investigation against him, no criminal activity that he did. So then he investigated further, and he figured out that he jumped red light for 25 times. So investigation, then I realized that what kind of that was a racist kind of crime. The policeman was white. The man who was killed was a black. So then I realized different region, different terrain has different tone and tenor of crime. It is not that if you are in India also, you have 26, 28 states. Every state has a different fabric of crime. You can't, the social fabric is different, and as per the social fabric, the crime is also changes its nature. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for briefing us about Columbia and your experience. You have written on women and gender issues extensively based on your reporting. What do you feel the most pressing challenges women face in India's workforce today?
Well, there are biases. I would say that there are biases, and biases in terms of that work environment is secure to a large extent, but then they cannot. There are systems that need to be changed in the society. Societal perception need to change. You know, if a woman is coming home late, she should not be looked at with doubt. It has changed a lot. I would say it has changed a lot. I worked late, and I have never been questioned on that account. Of course, I would also suggest at the same time that that women has dual responsibility of running the house as well as taking on professional responsibilities, which they do very successfully now in every field, not in in administration, in health, in education. You'll see women everywhere. I think society needs to be more adaptive. Now the men are very welcoming of women working. Now that things have changed. Young boys get married, they share the workload at home. The women also need to be more understanding. They can't keep saying that it's a right, or it is a both. It's a two-way traffic. If men has changed and they are volunteering for volunteering to share the workload, the women also need to understand that there are things that are biologically possible for women, biologically possible for men. So according to that, if they will design the house, it will be a wonderfully functional house. And but there are jobs that are still, there are mental blocks that women can't do. Though the glass ceiling are being broken every second day, and people are welcoming women in every field. So I think that will take a little more time, and by the time you will be in your 40s, you will see a lot of change in society.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. And this is my personal question. Weren't you scared when you were doing investigative reporting?
There are professional hazards in every profession. So is in journalism, and I have seen that when I was covering Jessica Lal, I used to go to the court to attend the hearing and all. So DP Yadav's people used to come and tell me every day that boss wants to meet you every day. So I used to tell him to come to office. I was with Z at that time, so he never came to office. I never met him. So this kind of professional hazards do happen, but then you have to have a strong belief in yourself, and also you have a system, like your office is there, and you must do investigation keeping in mind your limitations.
Yes, ma'am.
You can take your male colleague along and then go, and there are things there where you need to be little cautious. You need to be cautious there. Yes. You can't go around at 2 at night and say that I'm doing investigation. You can't do that. So that kind of course, if you're going to a place where like GB Road, I took one of my male colleagues there along with me. Yes. And though I lined up, also proper lining up, proper sources. When you develop sources and they arrange things for you, and then you go, you are, I would say, 60-70% safe. If eventually, God forbid, some accident takes place, you can't help it. But otherwise, there is a lot of security that your male counterparts are also very supportive.
Yes, ma'am.
They do worry that you are going, if you need, I can come along with you, or your cameraman, or if you are going along with the photographer, he will certainly work as a shield with you. When you go out, you work as a team.
Yes, ma'am.
And that other member of your team will always be there for you.
True. Thank you, ma'am.
So
let's move on to the last question.
Yeah.
What's next for you? Do you have plan to expand your podcast channel?
Well, my podcast is right before you. If you want to know more, subscribe me, ask me questions, I will answer it, and I'll hold sessions, live sessions. You ask me, I request everyone to ask me. I will share it, and that will, I hope, I hope people will like it and take it forward. And I'm writing a book already, and 2 books are done. 1 more book I'm doing.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much
for sharing your experience with us, and it was a great honor having you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me here. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You're watching IMS TV. This is your host Sanchita Verma. Thank you.